All right. So continuing along with the EMP idea, EMP little series, you have decided that you're in the city and you're going to bug out. You know, it's been beat to death that we shouldn't live in the cities anymore. So I'm not going to beat that to death for this purpose. My first thought is, depending on where you live, I get it. It's difficult to say I can't move, or I'm going to move, or I'm going to change my life and get my whole family on board. A lot of circumstances in that. So let's not deal with that. Let's just deal with you're there and there's nothing you can do about it. Or you didn't do anything about it. Maybe it happens tomorrow and you can't do anything about it, right? You still have to know what to do. So, bugging out in a vehicle. Man, there's still a lot of snow here. Look at that. It's almost April. So, bugging out in a vehicle. If you're going to bug out in a vehicle, that would be the ultimate choice. My first thing that I would do is I would figure out exactly how many miles it takes to get there on 5 different routes. 5 routes? Yeah, I'd figure out exactly what it takes to get there 5 different ways. One, the normal way of highways, and 2, where you can branch off. So I would have a map, and I would have my bug out location. Now, to be just completely honest with you, I have several bug out locations. I have north, south, east, and west. I can go anywhere to find my bug out location. I've made up my mind that this is where we're going to rendezvous in any of these situations, provided I can't get out, right? Maybe you're trying to leave and you can't get out north, so you have to go south. Well, here's a rendezvous south, and even if I needed to be north, then I'm going to work my way back around to north, right? So that's really important. I have a plan. I'll just tell you what my plan is. It's pretty easy. Everybody is going to go to my parents' house, and if my parents are there, you're going to get them and you're going to leave. You're going to start packing what they need, and then you're going to meet us at the bug out point. Now, you are going to write on the wall your name and who was all with you. So, you have a brother, wife, kid 1, kid 2, kid 3, and mom and dad. We took all of them. We went to bug out location, whatever, in north, south, east, west. You don't have to say where you went, but then they know, right? And then the next person comes in. So I go in, I see, brother, sister, their families, mom and dad are gone. My other brother's not there. So I'm going to write on there, I left and I went to the rendezvous. Now, when I get to the rendezvous and get the family safe, then I'm going to make one more trip back in, right? I'm going to get them out of town and staged, out of sight. And then I'm going to make one more come back into town with my group and a gray man kit, right? And I'm going to come back in. This should be all within the first 24 hours. You need to be out of that town in 24 hours if you're going to bug out. And where you need to be within 72, better within 48. And remember, you're not going to sleep for 72 hours. Do not close your eyes for 72 hours. So you're going to go back, you're going to stage, you're going to get your men together or women that are mobile and can move, strip them of that gear, go back, get more gear and come back, right? All right, that's whether you have a vehicle or whether you're walking. Either one, you do both of those. All right, second thing you do is you are making sure that you're grabbing all of your family. Like I said, if you have vehicles, you get your family out, you get them staged out here, they go on high alert, you come back in with a vehicle, you make sure that your other family member or friends that were coming with you weren't left behind. So you go back and you get them. First thing you do is you go back to the house, make sure they're not there. If their name's not on the wall, then you start tracking them down. You got about, maybe 10 hours to do this. Okay, get them, then go back and get any essential gear that you have left or that where is that you can grab. So maybe you're making plans to, maybe your stuff is in a storage building. So now you're going to go with that group into the storage building, get your stuff and leave, right? Maybe there's a train that you saw, so you can go get stuff off that train and leave. I don't know, up to you. So that's my plan. And from there, you're going to start the bug out. Now, if you have a vehicle, that's absolutely the easiest way. Have a route with 5 routes. Same thing if you have if you're walking, you have a route with 5 routes. And I would have enough gas in that vehicle to go there and back. So I would have double the amount of gas that I needed. So if I had to go 1,000 miles, I'd have 2,000 miles of gas. That'd be the first thing that I did, okay? Then I would have all the tools that it takes to keep my truck running, have at least 2, maybe 3 spare tires, have a way to plug a tire repair kit, a way to air up a tire. Then I would have a, Matco makes this battery jump starter. I would buy that. It's $250. 1, you can charge some electronics on it, but 2, if your vehicle went dead, you could jump it because you never know if you're going to jump it or if you're going to have to jump it. So I would have that. Or some jumper cables, you know. But if you're going by yourself, that Matco jumper cable deal is a big deal because you never know, right? Alternators go out, batteries go out. You know, you drive from a hot climate to a cold one and the battery goes dead and you're screwed. So you got to find a way out of that, right? So that would be my, and then from there, you know, as much food as you can carry with your group and then bug out. And like I said, I would do the best I could to be there in 24 hours. I mean, at 48 hours. 72 is your max, okay? Although I'm not sure that if you're not in a great big city, I'm not sure I believe the 72 hours to animal for every city, just mainly the really big cities. Because, yeah, you know, they go crazy in 10 hours when they hear something, you know, they hear something they don't like that the president says and them idiots go nuts. But anyway, so if you have to walk and bug out, now even if you have a vehicle, you need to plan to be able to walk out, okay? So here's why. So your vehicle may stop halfway and you may have to walk. Your vehicle may, you know, you may not be able to pass. You may, you know, there's so many things that could happen. It isn't even easy to talk about. You could have roadblocks, people keep you out of it. You could have people that steal your vehicle. You could have your vehicle break down. You could have the military or police keep you from actually driving down that road. There are so many things that could happen that you lose that vehicle that I would plan on not being able to have that vehicle, right? If you have it, that's a luxury. If you don't have it, then you need to be able to walk. So what do I do from there? In my bug out bags, first made the mistake of thinking that I could, you know, have like a tarp and a space blanket for sleeping. Well, I tried that, and I'm going to tell you, you can do it, but it's freaking miserable. And see, I got a wife and 3 kids. I can't do that. You know, you have you know, elderly people with you. You can't do that. So it's important for you now to, as soon as you're done watching this video, cruise over and start watching the people who do the Appalachian Trail through hike, or the one on the West Coast, which is like I don't even know what it is. It's a through hike where they go from California all the way up to Canada, or maybe they go from Canada all the way down. I'm not 100% sure, but they're like 2,500 and 2,700 miles. And yes, they get blisters, and yes, some of them, if you don't have your shoes too big, like most of us wear our shoes too small, and so if you don't have your shoes big enough, you'll probably lose your toenails. That's possible, but you know, all those people, they do it every year. People line up and hike that. They lose their toenails. They still come back and hike it, right? I would start studying their ultralight backpack system. What do they sleep in? Their sleeping bag and their tent. You know, what do they walk in? Their walking shoes. They're not walking in combat boots. They're not walking in hiking boots. They're walking in like you know, Solomon shoes and Merrell shoes. So that's important. What are they wearing for socks? What are they carrying for food? And then, you know, you're going to add your medical and your bullets to that, right? Bullets, Band-Aids, and beans. So it's really important that you start following them and build your bug out bag after them, and stop with the stupid stuff, man. Like, people made a business out of bug out bags, and you start buying all this stupid stuff, like, I don't know, little trinkets, little crappy compasses and little crappy knives and, you know, pull chainsaws and, I mean, so much stupid stuff that they just want you to waste your money. Hand warmers? Come on, man. You don't need no freaking hand warmers. Take the necessities that it takes for you to bug out. And where do I recommend you start with that? Start with the Appalachian Trail hikers. Look at that Appalachian Trail through hikers. Start watching those people. What do they wear? What do they do? How far can they go in a day? So on and so forth. Because the truth is, I mean, I watched one the other day where 2-year-old kids are making that hike for 6 months. 72-year-old women are making that hike for 6 months. So that means you can do it too, right? And in the greater good of things, if it means you can only go so far, at least you're out of it, right? Maybe you got some elderly people that can't go. Maybe they don't get to go. Or maybe you're not going to leave them, but you get far enough outside of town, and maybe that walk takes you, 2 years instead of 6 months, whatever. It doesn't matter. The truth is, though, you can do it, and your body will build up to it. It's like, I don't know, you ever do 2-a-days in football, and your freaking legs hurt so bad for the first week that you can't hardly move, but then you get used to it. That's what'll happen on that. Your muscles will hurt bad for a week, 3 days, 4 days, and then they won't hurt anymore because they'll be getting strong enough to be able to do this. So even if you're, fat and out of shape, you will be able to make that walk. Now you're not going to be able to make it with a 100-pound bug out bag. You'll be able to do it with a 30-pound bug out bag. But notice where their emphasis is, right? Shelter is their emphasis. They got a good tent and a good sleeping bag in their pack that's not going to hurt their back. And then from there, they very minimalize to get the rest of what they need. So you're going to need shelter, so a good tent or a good hammock. If you're in the desert, a hammock sucks. But you're going to need a good tent because you got to get out of the weather. You're going to need a good sleeping bag because that's what's going to keep you warm. That's what keeps you alive. Like Cody Lundine's book, The 98.6 Degrees, The Art of Keeping Yourself Alive or something like that. That's what you need to focus on, right? So study those people, because when it comes to bugging out, if you have to walk, which, an EMP attack, you're probably going to have to walk. And if you're bugging out, more than likely, you're going to have to, no matter what, you're going to end up walking. Even if you got a vehicle and you can get all the way there, and then you're out of gas, or maybe you got a little more gas, you're going to want to walk 95% of the time anyway. So have a kit that's made to walk, right? And your line 1, line 2, line 3, whatever. But have that kit that's made to walk. And the best place to do that is watch them Appalachian Trail guys and build your bag based off of what they do, because they're using it every day. And, it's the truth. You're not going to be able to go out and make that 6-month hike because you got a job or whatever. But you can go out and make some little weekenders, right? And what's crazy is even if you live in the city and you can't do that, you can always pitch that stuff in your backyard and, put your tent up in a rainstorm, put your tent up in a windstorm. You can use your gear right where you're at, even if you're not walking a long ways with it. And it's not a bad thing anymore to put it on your back and walk around the block a few times, because that's become a thing, right? I mean, maybe if you get a military camo pack, people might say that's an issue, but you get a regular backpacker's backpack, and then if somebody stops you, be like, hey guys, I'm just out walking because I'm going to go on a backpacking trip soon, or I'm trying to get in shape. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody pays attention. Anyway, that's my food for thought for you on the bugging out side, vehicle side, and walking side. It's become a big business to sell a bunch of stupid stuff that doesn't matter. I wouldn't buy into that. I would, the 10 C's that Dave Canterbury has, I would build and expand on those, and food, and that's what I would do. That's what I'd focus on. Buying stupid little trinkets, that's not going to help you. Anyway, guys, something to ponder on.